People have really had enough of DC Comics BS when it comes to Superman. They just don't understand the character. It's much like Marvel. They don't understand Captain America because they don't get patriotism. They don't understand how a character can love America because they hate America. The people who work there now are just disastrous leftists. And that's why Graham Nolan called them out again, because in this new advertisement they're pushing, they're back to removing truth, justice, and the American way, something that started back in 2021 as they just made the destruction of the Superman character over the last few years really, really sad. But we're going to get into what they've done with Superman and just like where all this became a problem, and then what Graham Nolan said. Of course, Graham Nolan did a wonderful job with this, is a badass as always, and we appreciate him for being there. He's somebody who would never get hired by DC Comics today, sadly. But this is where we're at. Let's talk about the news. Hit the like and subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys being here. And if you love comics, I have independent comics, which do uphold good patriotic values. This is called The Emerald Array. It's my Space Marine graphic novel where they're defending the Terran Imperium from evil bug monsters from outer space who are attempting to, of course, destroy humanity. This is classic heroism. This is the type of strong male lead sort of thing that they can't write at DC Comics anymore. You're going to love this. Even the art has a classic style of like old school DC Comics vibe that you're going to absolutely love. I wrote this for you guys, and it's closing out today. Please grab this. It's in the description below. Support independent comics. Support our efforts, guys. Really appreciate you for being here. So, in 2021, DC Comics came under fire for fans for removing Superman's motto, truth, justice, and the American way, if you forgot about that, because DC Comics keeps having so many worse controversies since then. But that was really the beginning of the downfall. Now, former Batman artist Graham Nolan is calling the company out for doing it again. Over the last several years, DC Comics has become a hyper-political entity with its content pushing extreme leftist agendas in books like Superman for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that have soured many comic readers on their beloved characters. For 2021, it marked the beginning of the downfall as Chief Creative Officer Jim Lee announced at a virtual fan event called DC Fandome that Superman's iconic motto of truth, justice, and the American way would now change to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, because they're triggered by the American way, my friends. They don't want to sound like Donald Trump, after all. It's terrible. This is not Superman whatsoever. Superman loves America. They already have a Elseworlds called Superman Red Sun, which is the direct opposite of that, because that's how much Superman has classically loved America, and this is how nonsensical this is for the characters. Bad branding, it's bad characterization, and they should be ashamed of themselves for doing it. The company then put out a press release saying they wanted to, quote, better reflect the storylines we are telling across DC, and to honor Superman's incredible legacy of over 80 years of building a better world. You see how it's like a globalist agenda shill crap, and they want to reflect their modern storylines? Well, this is what they did with their modern storylines as this was happening. So it went crazy. Tom Taylor decided to change the book into a gay drama, turning the new iteration of the character Clark Kent's son Jonathan into a homosexual and pushing extremist left politics in his books. Many fans loved the characters originally created in Super Sons, Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne, who were at that time portrayed as innocent, youthful next generations by Peter Tomasi and Dan Jurgens, some fan favorite writers there. However, DC Comics decided to age up Jonathan Kent to try to make him into the next Superman. This is where Tom Taylor destroyed the character with his insane politics. And here's what Tom Taylor said right away. The question for John and our creative team is, what should a new Superman fight for today? Can a 17-year-old Superman battle giant robots while ignoring the climate crisis? Of course not. Wait, what? Yes, absolutely he can. I wish you'd just do things where he's battling giant robots and ignoring the climate crisis. Please leave me alone and let me read a freaking comic book, Tom Taylor. This does not sound fun. This sounds like shit. Pardon my language. Oh my gosh, I get so irritated because you see this picture with this whole deal. You got all the gays there with him, and they're all doing a Save Our Planet. It's just so stupid. It's like, gosh, painful to look at. Not only were the covers unveiled where Jonathan Kent Superman was protesting against climate change to make a leftist run out of the book, he also turned the character gay by having him make out and even at one point mock Christian sacrament of marriage by implying Superman would gay marry this other boy. So we have a young bi guy who's also the sweetest, most empathetic, nurturing guy who doesn't want to hurt anyone. I'm going to guess this is a self-insert of Tom Taylor. I think that's far more heroic than somebody punching a supervillain in the face. So yes, homosexuality is super heroic. That's why they can't have truth, justice, and the American way anymore, because it's not about justice. It's about social justice now. Despite low sales, DC Comics continue to double down on their destruction of beloved characters. Now in a new solicitation, it appears they've changed the Man of Steel motto once again to avoid patriotic ties. This is after Absolute Superman came out, where Jason Aaron turned it into a weird communist rant. It's absolutely awful over there and unreadable, but I think it's going to get even worse, because in a new advertisement, Summer of Superman, on DC.com, the company listed several titles that would be coming out in the near future, including controversial writer Dan Slott coming to the Man of Steel. I don't know that anybody wants Dan Slott at this point. I don't know. I haven't seen them do advertisements saying Slott is coming like they did Bendis is coming back in the day. But, oh my gosh, Dan Slott is one of the most hated writers out there. He has just been somebody who has attacked fans way too many times. He's way past his prime at this point. And throwing him onto Man of Steel is like Marvel's sloppy seconds, because he used to be at Marvel for a long, long time, is just going to be another just terrible run of Superman incoming. We already know what's going to happen here. In the release, DC Comics called Superman a symbol of truth, justice, and hope. Oh my gosh. So it's no longer a better world. Now it's hope, because that's what Obama would have wanted. Zero mention of the American way or Superman as an iconic hero. So they've got their solicitations here. Dan Slott, Mark Waid for a DC Summer of Superman special. Lex Luthor returns. Yay. Just regurgitating stuff. Superman the World. Experience the Man of Steel beyond Metropolis. Of course, it's always the world, right? They're globalists. Superman Good Guy Gang. Oh, boy. And then that's for kids, I guess. A can't-miss selection of Superman's greatest hits for Superman Day. I guess they're going to be reprinting some old stuff that people actually like, as they have books that nobody actually wants in the other return. So Graham Nolan called this out and just and showed this on his X feed. He is always a good patriot. Graham Nolan has been producing great independent comics himself. I've been loving his work that he's been doing, especially his Monster Island stuff. Absolutely fun pulp adventure there, which I'm really into. And he calls it a symbol of truth, justice, and hope. And he says, nope, they spelled the American way wrong. So they are doubling down on this. Like, they let the controversy die down for a while, which was big news back in the day, and then they picked it right back up, just doing the exact same things over and over again. DC is so stupid with this, like, all-in initiative. Literally, they're just recycling the same people doing the same things, making the same mistakes over and over and over again, and then calling it a new event. I mean, yes, it did work with the all-new number ones, but you can only run to that well so many times, guys. It's going to just be a disaster going forward. I don't believe that any of this has long legs. I think that this iteration of DC Comics is actually going to be even shorter than, like, Rebirth was before they relaunched it with Dawn of DC, because, like, there's nothing really hooking you for this absolute universe. It doesn't make any sense where this is going whatsoever. And a lot of the stuff they're doing here is just nonsense, like this stupid truth, justice, and hope that we're seeing right here. Well, there is an alternative, my friends. I want you to back the Emerald Array on my Fund My Comic right now. We are crushing it. 424 backers. We had a big last couple of days, and we're at over 22,000 today. Amazing stuff. If you like classic heroes, if you like patriotism, if you like well-written men, this is going to be the book for you. I wrote it for you guys. I wrote it with you in mind, and I actually listen and pay attention to my customers, unlike DC Comics. Yeah, imagine that. And so please check this out. Support our alternative today. It's in the description below. Appreciate you for being there. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Superman nonsense. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.